I'm back and that's better. Looks better. Soon find out though, I suppose. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but OBS just started dropping packets all over the place, so yeah. Okay, so back to this lovable bad boy, the ESP8266 alarm clock. Similar to Chicky, I was thinking I'd call it the block alarm clock, seeing as B lock. Yeah, I think I recycle what I want to say. I'm not an interesting person. You can actually do that on Twitch. You can like play a video and watch it with your fans or whatever. And actually, it's prompted me here to fill out a survey. And the question, like the thing they're trying to get me to look at with the survey is, do you host movie nights or other watch parties with your community? I was like, what? Do people like watch movies with their crowd on Twitch? That would be way easier than doing projects. Why can't nobody told me this? Anyways, so the block clock is what I'm going to start referring to this as. Yeah, so on a stream recently enough, we soldered this up, and I'm quite happy with how it works. The only other physical thing or component that I would consider adding to it is an LDR, so a light dependent resistor, so you could adjust the brightness on the display based on like how bright it is outside. Like, so you know, at night you could dim the display way down because it'd be very visible anyways, and then during the day you'd have to make it brighter so it would be visible. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. It has evolved a little bit. It's not Leo. It's the same basic components, other than it's a bit dark here for some reason, I don't know. Other than the buzzer is now a passive buzzer, rather than just, you know, one of those ones that just beeps. So let me I hear my daughter talking, but so far it's just talking. And hey Mike, welcome back. Now that's a sandwich. It is a sandwich. No, a delicious sandwich. Okay, so we've got a... Oh, actually, if you're not familiar with this project at all, so it said boot there, it said 43, that's its IP address. It's now trying to connect to the internet. Now it's got the internet, and it's got Bluetech in it. It does. That was because the header pins here kept it up, you know, on that side, and I wanted to balance it out on this side. In hindsight, I shouldn't have put on the header pins at all, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. My eventual goal is to turn this into a PCB anyways, so the Bluetech will be well gone. So you plug it in, it automatically, it has Wi-Fi manager on it, so if it can't connect to the network, it'll go into config mode, and then it will, once it's connected, it will fetch its time off an NTP server, and then it will display the time. And the other thing that we can do with it is, so as you saw there, it displays its IP address on boot up, so 169.1.43 was it? Yeah. So you can set the alarm. You can set the alarm from a web interface, because like one of the most annoying things about setting alarms is just the fiddliness of the button or whatever. In my upcoming video, I have a little bit of a homage to, if that's the correct word, to Bluetech. You'll get it. So yeah, that's the new current alarm sound. There's a few problems with this alarm clock though. Or a few things that just need to be tidied up. So it works, and it works as my alarm clock at the moment. Let me enable my desk there. But a couple of problems. The IP address is only shown at startup. You should be able to press a button to see there's an IP address. Another actual hardware thing that I do want to add at some stage, I mightn't do it on the stream because I probably will do the stream pretty short because I'm really tired. But we'll see. I say that loads of times and then it then I don't do that. What else is there? So yeah, an indicator to show that there is an alarm on or not on. So just a little LED to say, yeah, the alarm is active or not active. On that note as well, it would be nice to be able to set the alarm active or not active, because you can't do that at the moment. What else is there? The web interface, it doesn't give you any feedback that you've pressed the alarm. It doesn't show you that the alarm is set. You know, it's not the best, and also it's kind of ugly. But that's not a big deal. I have 2 physical buttons on it. Only one of them does anything at the moment, so that's the alarm disable button basically. I timed when I pressed the button there to hide a bug, which I can show you now. Oops, 2142. So when that goes to 42, I'll show it to you. So the alarm will play out its little jingle regardless of when you press the button. So like it should interrupt the jingle when you press the button, I would think. So that's another thing that we could fix. And then I intend this to be a snooze button, but I want it to be a smart snooze button. So I think like making it the snooze of shame might be interesting. That if I press this button, it posts on my Twitter to say that I'm lazy or something. I don't know. I thought that might be kind of interesting. Let me just take a quick look at the chat. So Mike, finally caught up with all the videos and streams. Yeah, I said there was a good lot of them. Wi-Fi signal was crap in Italy. You were there not to be watching us making crap back home or whatever. I remember the alarm clock when it was buzzing still. Yep. Hey Gavin, how's it going? And yeah, I mentioned about Greg there. Does it still have maps integration? In the code it's still somewhere there. I'm pretty sure it's commented out at the moment though. So I showed on Twitter recently enough, and let me just open this up. I keep a Trello list of like projects. I don't do a great job of keeping it up to date. Every now and again I'll do it, but this is kind of a list of general ideas for videos and projects that I have. They're in no particular order. So just if I come up with an idea and I think about it in time, I add a card for it. So it's pretty nice actually, Trello, if you've never used it, because then you can drag stuff around and yeah, it's cool. And you can also leave comments in comments on each post. So I saw a blog post for discussing Raspberry Pi shutdown button, so I just threw that in there. So when I do want to pick up that project, I have some information on it. But the thing that I wanted to show was this already started section, which is a lot of it is because of live streams. So RGB LED matrix draw web page, did that in a live stream. I've done most of this ESP32, you know, way home meter project, that as home, on a live stream. Twitch draws an LED matrix, live stream. Alarm clock, live stream. Grow light, not a live stream. Macro keypad, live stream. Tetris animation video, not a live stream, sort of. Grow light twice. It must be a really good project. I'll just throw it back there and reuse it as well. I can just delete it. Archive, delete. Yeah, so I need to make this list smaller. It is stressing me out. So I think for live streams for the next while, I'm going to try not start anything. This is public, actually, Dave. I don't know, does anybody look at it? I'm pretty sure I shared it once or twice. But it is a public list. I'll throw it into the chat if you want. I presume this is it, is it? Just hopefully you're not allowed to edit it, because that would be annoying. A new LED matrix. Do you see that somewhere, or is it just this one here? Yeah, it's public. Yeah, it's I think that ideas are fairly cheap. To be honest, ready to go means that I have the stuff for them. And even in some cases, say like this Pi Spotify speaker, I've tried it out and there's some stuff I still need to figure out with it, but in general I was happy with how it went. So like that's ready to turn into a project, but it's not already started. So that should be one that'll be coming up in the next while. I probably only get to do 2 videos a month. Maybe I might get a third one in, but it's quite difficult, especially since I moved to Dublin, or sorry, I started working in Dublin. It's just the commute is longer, as I've talked about loads of times. I'm sure you're fed up with me complaining about it, but it does eat into this sort of time. So yeah, 2 a month is probably the max I'm gonna do. I've a Raspberry Pi video, no prizes for guessing which one it is, that it's pretty much finished. I just watched back like a released version. Yeah, no problem, Michael, I'll talk to you again. I was watching back like a processed version, and like you can hear my mouse click in a load of the parts of the video that you don't need to hear my mouse click, because I did voiceover on this one. Like I screen captured with OBS and I just left the sound on and I never took the sound out, so you can hear me clicking around. Just small stuff like that to tidy up. So as I mentioned, I'm pretty tired, so I probably won't finish it after this stream, but I might finish it tomorrow. Yeah, I find the Raspberry Pi videos a little bit nerve-wracking to release in some ways. Like, I don't really care, but I'm not as confident about them when I release them as I am with an Arduino one, because they're fairly new to me as well. Like, I already released one Pi video. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the times, Dave, it's like when I stop myself doing the voiceover, like it picks up the click as I'm stopping the voiceover. It mightn't even necessarily be me clicking on a button either. So I don't know. It's just, it's a little bit scrappy. I actually, that's actually something that I need to put into this list. This foot pedal that I talked about before, this is a remote camera trigger. Like I presume it's picking up my click on my mouse because it's, you know, quite close to the microphone. But if I had a foot pedal on the ground, like, it still seems kind of loud, but maybe the mic doesn't pick that up. Or I could definitely get a softer pedal, you know, and get that to stop and start the recording or the voiceover, so it you know, wouldn't pick it up anymore. That might work. Who knows? So let's put that in live on air here. So foot switch HID. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, so that's Trello. There's, oh, My daughter just kind of gave a bit of a shout, but anyways, so let's just take you off screen share and I'll open up my Arduino IDE just to make sure, because it opens up like old sketches and stuff. I'm never sure whether it's going to open up one that like reveals a ton of secrets or something. So not secrets, but you know what I mean, passwords or things like that. Alarm clock. Anybody working on anything interesting these days? Which is also code for that I just want to fill the blank air that I'm about to add by looking for alarm clock code. I think I like lose this alarm clock every single time. No, the alarm clock code has a secret.h in it, so it's not this one. Maybe it doesn't have a secret.h. It definitely does. It's called ESP alarm clock or something. Where are you? Is it definitely not this one? No. I'm very confused at the moment. See you, Greg. Chat to you later. Soldering up my weather station. Perfect. 40 pints of homebrew. Nice. Yeah, BrewPie is an interesting project as well. So, to give you an inside track on my thought process with the Pi videos, kind of projects like that are sort of my like my target. So I don't do any home brew, so BrewPie won't be one I'm looking at. But those kind of like projects that are like complete things that you just need to set up, I would like to like do a few videos on them, because there's some really cool stuff. Like Pi-hole is running on this at the moment, so it's blocking ads on my network. So that was pretty nice to set up, and then just kind of some other things as well, like that Raspberry Pi speaker. Where is this alarm clock code? Sketchbook. Isn't it just called alarm clock? Yeah, like that's the sort of stuff that I think would be cool. Like say for example, like another one of those projects on the list was it's called Arduino alarm clock. Is it? No, it's just alarm clock. Where the hell is that? Another one of those projects on the list was like a plant monitoring system. So like I'd like to have something that, you know, did time lapses and looked after a couple of other things as well. I am going to cry if I can't find this alarm clock soon. Where is it? Documents, Arduino alarm clock. There we go. Yes, now. I do have it on GitHub, but I think it's way out of date for some reason. But yeah, I have it here anyways. So okay, we had I called out a list of stuff that was wrong. I guess where would be the best place to put that? Maybe just in Notepad or something. Rather than having to see my hideous handwriting. Yeah, I think those kind of plant things do really well. Yeah, I ordered a few of those crappy soil moisture sensors. I was just gonna put a transistor between the power and them to try prolong their life, because you only need to like turn them on for a second to take their reading, and then you can turn them back off again. Yeah, I have one, but I ordered some more. I guess they could be coming in a post bag at some stage. Format, font, let's just make it big. So what did we talk about? I think one of the most important ones is getting showing IP address. So press one of the buttons, maybe both of the buttons, to show the IP address up on screen. I think that's kind of important. Show set alarm in web interface. So that would almost cover, you know, that you have do I have any Onion Omega 2s? I have no idea what they are. So no, I don't think so anyways. Time-lapse capture the Dropbox, that's interesting. I guess they would be too good and relatively easy. Well, the set alarm one has a bit of work in it, but so that would cover two of the main problems I have at the moment. That I can't tell what the IP address is unless I'm booting it up, and then also I can't tell if what alarm is set on it, and then if a MonPy for a video. I've never even heard of a MonPy. Ah. You're one step ahead of me, chickie. Yeah, I actually bought one exactly for that scenario. I was thinking of maybe like David Watts did a video on the Google platform, because I have a couple of Alexas, but I wouldn't mind playing around with the Google one. So these are a terrible webcam. Well, they're like 480 pixels or something, so they're pretty bad. It's 640 by 480, but they've got an array of 4 microphones up the top, and I bought it from CEX. Yeah, they had one even in my local one, so I said I'd give it a go. I haven't even tried it yet, but yeah, that's what I got it for anyways. Yeah. The Echo Pi or Echo Dot, yeah, I guess they're around the same price, but it's more that it is more that I don't know. This is revealing like the start of my next video, but like I don't know about you guys, but I've like 5 Raspberry Pis, and up till Friday none of them were doing anything. Like they were all either sitting in a drawer or sitting in a box or whatever. So I'm trying to get them to work harder for me. So like, for example, that Raspberry Pi 2 somebody gave me 2 years ago, and I haven't turned it on since they gave it to me until Friday. So it's kind of putting them to work, and it's a bit of fun setting up your own thing and kind of learning about it. But if you wanted a Raspberry Pi, or sorry, if you wanted an Amazon Echo, like, yeah, I think the Echo Dot's microphone is unbeatable, I would say. But yeah, you can completely change the wake word, can you? Like, not just Echo, Amazon, or Alexa. Okay, let's do it that. So what would you say for which button should show the IP address? The snooze button, or maybe both of them? Does pressing both of them make sense? Maybe just the snooze button, and pressing the alarm button would show up when the alarm was. That might actually be kind of useful. Well, does it take computer? I didn't realize that. Yeah, so maybe just the snooze button, because then you could do something like pressing both of them resets it or something. I don't know. I'll just do one at the moment. So if you're pressing do I even have marked in this? I thought it was Echo, Alexa, and Amazon, but I am probably wrong. This is a bad name for a variable as well. This should be alarm buzzer. I actually made a mistake when I was doing up this soldering this board. I soldered the buttons off air, so to speak. Let me adjust the brightness of this because it's really dull. Not too. Yeah, so I actually ended up soldering one of the buttons to the buzzer pin, so that was a bit of a boo-boo. Yeah, so then I had to fix that, but it's kind of awkward to work in here now because the thing is soldered on. But anyways, that's fixed. So what are the two pins I have? I'm using pin. This one is the alarm, and that is connected to D2. So then this button here, which is the snooze button, is connected to D3. Okay, I need to like take down all of these. Can we call out actually? Can we call out some of the things that we've been talking about? Let me add a new card. So because like a load of them have come up here and I don't remember any of them already. So okay, so what did we have? We had Domo Tick Z. Okay, never heard of that one. The Amazon Echo or Google Speaker. A MonPi, also never heard of. There was the one from your Birdhouse, Colin. Motion iOS. And there was brew pie as well, which I probably won't do, but nice to have it on a list or whatever. Oh yeah, and then there's some more obvious ones like retro pie and stuff like that, which I guess I'll put down anyways. I'll get around to that at some stage. Ooh. Okay, so Dominic's versus Home Assistant. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yes, so let's get to some programming, shall we? No, it's still screen share. Just need to move away from that. Okay, so let's add the button. So hash define snooze. Snooze button is on D3. I was thinking instead of actual long press, I could just do it that if that button is being held down in the loop, instead of displaying the time, I just display the IP address instead, and then when you let go, it stops doing that. I don't need to debounce it or worry about it being long pressed or anything. I think that should work fine. 1 second loop due. Yes, I guess I could. That doesn't matter. Alright, so I haven't set the button to be an input yet. That's kind of important. It also needs to be an input pull-up because I don't have any external inputs on it, or I don't have any pull-up resistors on it or anything like that. I'm not going to add it as an interrupt at the moment. I probably will later. Yes. Okay. Right. So let's do. Where are we? Here. So if digital read. Am I even doing that right? That is button pressed equals true. Yeah. Okay, where are we? If digital read snooze button equals, so it's a pull-up resistor, so it would be low. Then I want to do one thing, and if it's not that, I want to go in here and do another thing. Maybe. Yeah, looks generally okay. Yeah, I'm doing a web interface for setting the alarm. So like these buttons don't have a menu purpose. I've no interest in having it that you hold down something to enable set mode and then you can set it. That is I hate that interface in alarm clocks so much that I think that the selling point of this is that you can just take out your phone and set it so much quicker that way. So yeah, multiple alarms and stuff like that would be definitely on the list as well, but not for sort of the initial thing. Like the main thing I'd like to get sorted is just have a basic functioning version, be happy with the hardware, and then I can create the board for it. And like stuff like the repeat and multiple alarms, and a nicer web interface where you can say, like, I want this alarm to go off at 7 o'clock Monday to Friday or whatever. Like, they're all things that I can add in software afterwards. Like, I know I don't need hardware changes for that. So yeah, but I would like to get a basic version working to my liking before I start working on a board for it. I don't know if any were here when I was talking about it before, but I was actually thinking about using for the board, actually using a Wemos instead of standalone ESP, because they're pretty much as cheap. Like, I can't buy the stuff for cheaper than what a Wemos is. Like, an ESP8266 costs $2 and a Wemos D1 costs like $260. Like, I can't get a voltage regulator, a USB header, whatever, a USB to serial chip and all that stuff, and I just can't. I just can't. Yeah, I do that all the time as well. Yeah, so like, I was thinking maybe I could nearly do both. Which project? This alarm clock one? It's not Leo. Yeah, I definitely will share the code. There is an old version up on my GitHub, but I'll upload this one when we're finished for sure. And like, if anybody wants to make PRs to this, I'm more than happy. But the code is in a mess at the moment. Like, as in, I'm not a proud person in terms of, like, if somebody implements any of those features I was talking about, I will gladly take them in and not be like, oh, I kind of wanted to do that myself. I'm happy to let the community do its bit. But what I was thinking of, maybe, like, let me go big for this one. Go big or go home. So say you've your PCB like this, and you could have your holes for the Wemos here, and then but underneath it you could have holes for an ESP chip as well that are like connected to all these things, and maybe just have a USB header and a voltage regulator and whatever other passives are needed. So like, you could populate the board one of two ways. You either drop in a Wemos and you get the USB serial and all that stuff, or if you want to just populate it with a USB header, voltage regulator, and a bare ESP8266, and again, whatever other passives are needed. I think it's just a capacitor or something. You could do that too, and it would work the exact same. You're right, it's not Leo. I mentioned kind of at the start of the stream as well that the only other one that the two other hardware bits that I would potentially add to this is an LED to indicate that the alarm is set or not set. That mightn't be as important if you have kind of those like multiple alarms and things like that, but it'd be useful to have either way. And then an LDR if we wanted to adjust the brightness based on that. Yeah, so that is one idea I have, but I might not do that for the first version of the board, because it's just like, I'm completely new to PCB design. Yeah, you absolutely could put in an OLED instead. OLED instead, seeing as it uses the same amount of pins or whatever. I just like this because it's cheap and nice and bright and things like that, and it has most things you need. I will get a bigger one of these. Yes, so I've looked at the Nexaton displays and I like them. I don't like their price. So like I was hoping that I could eventually maybe sell these on Tindy. I think it would be a nice first candidate. They're not super complicated, so I wouldn't expect to sell like many of them or anything, but I think like I like at the start of the year to kind of like set some goals and things, and selling a kit on Tindy is one of my goals for the year, and I think this would be an okay one. It's a nice simple project. It's very sort of like understandable, you know, everybody yeah, it's everybody could like understand the use case of it, and there's a lot of potential to do more interesting things too. Like say for example, you could disable the alarm button and you could add one of those Alexa emulated Wemo plug emulators onto this, so the only way you can turn off the alarm is going down to your kitchen, excuse me, and saying like Alexa turn alarm off, or whatever. It might need to be something other than alarm, but seeing as that's a keyword for them. But yeah, like they aren't too expensive. They're like $14 for the small one or something, and I do mean to buy one. My actual one of the use cases that I have for having one, because they're touchscreen as well, right? Would be the Elegoo Stream Decks. You know, we talked about that on a stream too. These that's very bright. A little macro keyboard that the Stream Deck is made of a screen with like plastic surrounding it to make individual little screens, and you'd need something like the Nexaton display. So maybe I'll get to it at some stage, but I'm on an AliExpress ban at the moment. I'm not buying anything for a while, just because I've so much stuff. Like nearly everything on that list that you've seen earlier, I have the stuff to do it, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So yeah, so I displayed the IP address earlier on, so I just can grab that and put it in here. So then when you let go of the button, it'll come in here, and I can make this 1 second loop be equal to now. So what that would do is, I'm using your original code for this in my weather station. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, do you have that project written up anywhere, or what screen are you using, Mike? I think I remember you sending it on Twitter before, but I've actually been working on this alarm clock since like February, so you could have sent it on in March or something, and I just don't remember exactly. Yeah, I just have way too much stuff on the go, and like I keep seeing more stuff, and I'm like, oh cool, I could do. And I'm like, no, I've too much stuff already. Just focus on what I have for the minute, and yeah. Cool. I was thinking, oh, I must pick one up, but I can't because I'm on that ban. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. So this is display show number decimal, and it's just the third part of the IP address. No, I'm not gonna get one. I might have that BME. Well, I definitely have some temperature humidity sensors, but no, not getting the screen. Yeah, so this is the IP address. I saved it up here in the setup because it's not going to change after the setup anyways. Where is it that I saved it? Yeah, IP address is equal to Wi-Fi local IP. I guess I could. Oh, that's not available to me here, so I better grab it. This might be a little bit slow, but sure, who cares? Yeah, so that gets the IP address. Then that's the last portion of the IP, so like 192.168.1. Blah. It's that last part. Blah. I think false is Fiverr. It's death by 1,000 cuts, Mike. It's like, come on, you're you're going down to Alcoholics Anonymous with a little bottle of something and waving it under their nose, or that'll be fine. I've enough stuff. BMEs are pretty expensive, yeah. And did you say you broke one as well? Did I remember that in your Twitter? Yeah. So yeah, I think the fault is that it's not padding, and then the reason I'm setting this 1 second loop due to be now is that I only update the clock every second, just so it doesn't go through the doesn't need to redraw any more than every second anyways, because these only blink on and off every second. So there could be a scenario where you let go, but it still has like almost a second left to go. So if I just set it in here that 1 second loop due is now, by the time the person lets go of the button, it'll definitely be due, because the new now is going to be bigger than this one. So yeah, it'll instantly go back to the right time. So let's try that out. I'm set to be an @tiny at the moment, so let me fix that. I think the rest should be good. I bought a domain over the weekend as well. It's not active yet, but I bought block.ie. So well, you know my name because you're here, but yeah, block.ie. .ies are cheaper than they used to be. And yeah, so I'm gonna put a blog up on it. I haven't gotten around to that yet. Well, actually, it only got approved for purchase today, because you need to have a right to, you need to have an Irish connection to get a .ie domain. Hey Drew, how's it going? Long time no see. Yeah, so that came through today. I was playing around with Ghost CMS, which is a CMS platform that you can host yourself. It's written in Node.js. It's fine. It seems pretty good, to be honest. Can I show it to you? Yeah, why not? So like, it's still completely a work in progress at the moment, but yeah, so this is the public facing part of it, and this is just the default theme that it comes with, so you can reskin it to be other things then as well. So there should be more after the fold, so to speak. So you can see here. So I'm thinking of just putting up the kind of like, most time I release a project video or a 2-minute tidbit or something, just like a quick sort of like, hey, this is the video and in it we talk about this, here's the libraries that I used, or here's the parts, and blah 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 blah. But then to change it, which is the nice thing about CMSs, is that like you can just come along here and say, hello stream, this is a quick blog post, and then you can go up here to settings, you can upload an image, so just put a pie hole. Yeah, looks fine. Post settings is done, so let's publish that. You can schedule it or whatever. So now it's live. So if we go back to there's, you know, so it's, I know that image is awful, but you get my point. So yeah, I was pretty surprised. It was nice and easy to set up. Now I still have some more stuff to do with it, but if any are familiar with Docker, I just deployed a Docker image on a server I had, and I expose a volume out to the server, so works fine, no problems at all. Yeah, Mike, if you want a sandbox one to play around with, I can spin up one in a few seconds. Well, a few seconds, a couple of minutes. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with how it went. I'd be kind of interested in writing a blog post about the process of setting up the blog post, because I actually think it's an easy thing to set up. But so there we go. It's a bit dull for ye for some reason, but there's the first thing off our list anyways. So if you hold the snooze button, it displays the. So you could put in a check at the if statement to say, is the alarm active or whatever, to stop it displaying the IP address if the alarm is on. You know, you're just pressing the thing to actually snooze it, but yeah, it doesn't matter. I think I missed some chats from people. So work is numbing your brains. Yeah, I hope you're doing okay. I know you were unwell earlier on in the year or whatever. Yeah, that is a worry of mine, that I won't keep it up to date, but I'm hoping maybe even my wife might be able to help me with it. Yeah, it looks really nice, Mike. I was looking at some of the other themes, and I couldn't find one as nice as oh, is this yours, Colin? Wow. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Can I move in? Wow, that looks so good. That room is significantly bigger than this room. Look at all your printers as well. Can we all move in with you? I don't eat a lot. I do, that's a lie. But I'll barbecue for you or something. Yeah, that's super cool. The only thing that I have, and you probably have way more, is I have more of them. But other than that, your space is way better than mine. No, congratulations, that's a cool space. How many printers do you have? I count 5. This one probably isn't in operation, but they're 2 CR10 looking things. That's a Prusia, is it? I don't know what that is, but yeah, super cool. Where do you leave? Yeah, so nice. And look at all that filament. That BQ stuff, I have some of that too, and it worked out pretty well for me for the price of it. It's pretty cheap on Amazon, the last I checked. Yeah. Oh man, you should tweet that out, Colin. People would be so jealous of you. You just can't have enough. No, there is, in a room like this, you don't have enough storage. Yeah, no, I liked it because it was about as cheap a filament as you could get as well, so it was good. What's that printer on the ground? He's surely out of action now. Is he a DIY one? He looks kind of DIY-ish. Just judging by that aluminium frame thing. What's that stuff called? anytime I've looked for it, I haven't found it for cheap. Even though everybody, like any videos, like, oh, I just used this aluminium T-slot profile or whatever it's called. Hey, Sion, how's it going? Well, because it's really cheap. So, yeah, I'm getting an ANET A6. Oh, sorry, my wife is getting one, but... which I'd imagine isn't the best printer in the world, but sure, we'll see how it goes. Sponsored post. Oh, it's not going there because of pie hole. Yeah, we can go here. Yeah, I'm sure it's a pretty poor printer. It's got an acrylic frame. So, like, there's part of me that will want to, like, mangle this with my current printer, which has an aluminium frame, but, no, my wife is getting it. She filled out the form. She won a printer in it. Yeah. So it is. It's her printer. So that's why she's getting it. She filled out the form for it today. So, this was the most work I will ever do for a €160 printer. I think this is funny too. I was looking at it earlier. 163 for the US plug. 204 for the UK plug. That must be some plug. Yeah, so... like, it's probably a cheap printer, but I'm interested to see how it goes. But, like, this was... yeah, I'm scrolling pretty fast here. If any of you have used the Instructables editor before, you'll know this was not easy, because they're all embedded images as well, and there's GIFs, and ugh. Disaster. That is true, actually. I never even thought of it. It's more dangerous. I would just say that they sell more of the US one. I'd say it's the same power supply with a little flicky switch to go to 220 or whatever. But I'll let you know how it goes. It'll probably be 3 or 4 weeks before it gets here. They're actually quite fast at sending things out normally, in fairness to Instructables. The EU plug. Yeah, so the EU plug is, well, it has shipping too, so I don't know. But I don't know. I don't think anybody's recommending this printer, even at this price, like, because, you know, there's some pretty good printers you can get for around the €200 mark too. Hey Slayer Dart, how's it going? Sorry I didn't see you there. Want to see what I built this weekend? Yes, I do. Post it in the chat, please. I would be very happy to see what you built this weekend. Okay, showing IP address. That is done. So show what the alarm is in the... yeah, I see Tivo tarantulas coming, are being mentioned a bit. UK development. You want to know my location? I'm gonna say no to that. What, this is my current location, that's fine. Gravity software. Oh, you mapping different, sorry, I'm I'm looking at this off screen. So, what are we looking at here? Indexing. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's nice. What map software are you using for this? Because I actually looked into building a project using maps before. This is nice. For a stupid project. Who here other than Mike Swan knows what a 99 is? I don't know how prevalent throughout the world. I don't know how prevalent throughout the world 99s are. I know Mike knows what they are. API key is required. Okay, so it goes as far as the UK as well. I love 99s, so if you're not familiar with what a 99 is, this is what a 99 is. It's a soft serve ice cream. It is only called a 99 when it has this chocolate flake in it. I don't know what the purpose of that is, but anyways, I love these. These are my favorite like treat, but they are super inconsistent. You could go into a shop and get a really good one, and you could go into a different shop and get a really bad one. So 9 o'clock when the kids are going to bed, perfect. So I would actually, it is a dream of mine to make a project where you review 99s. So think of basically TripAdvisor or some form of like curated reviews site like that, but for 99s. So like if you were in, say I work in City West in Dublin, say, oh, I wouldn't mind going for a 99. You take out your app or go to this website and you say, I'm willing to travel 5 minutes by car, show me where the nicest 99 is, and it'll go, here, it's this one in Tala or whatever. I don't know. I would love that. I don't know if they're different in the UK, but there's definitely a huge difference between some of them here. And even the flake, that little piece of chocolate in it, like if you get a Cadbury's flake, it's much nicer than if they get a like generic flake. So that's a mark against them as well. And the cone is a thing. And then like just like the size and texture, it doesn't have to be huge, but just can't be miserable either, and just the texture and stuff. But yeah, so like the general idea would be, wouldn't it be nice if you like you saw the map and on it was like, instead of like your markers slur dart, you'd have ice cream cones to indicate that the shop was there or whatever. There's actually a lot of work in that project. Does it cost 99 cents? No, they cost around 160. Maybe they cost 99p. That would be pretty cool, but I don't live anywhere near where an ice cream fan would come to me. And Mike Swan knows when his is coming, 9 o'clock. Maybe they cost 99p before we used euro. Like roughly that works out with inflation, I'd say, because a punt, as they were called when it was pound, that is €1.27, and that was whatever, like 12 years ago, or I don't know, was it even more? That's way more. 15, 16 years ago, possibly even more than that. Yeah, so I guess with inflation that roughly adds up. Is that like a 10p mix-up that is around £1 now? Yeah, like I used to go to the shop and like buy penny sweets. That is not a thing anymore. And like, you know, there'd be pack of Tato crisps that were like, I think they were 17p at one stage for me. They're like €1 now. But as I was mentioning, if you go and get yourself a 99 and then it's a bad 99, it's the worst. Oh, I have a here, look. Come on up. You jerk. If you're gonna come in here, at least show yourself. Come on, up. Here. This is Regan's. Say hi to the camera, Regan. Can you see? I think he probably wants to go outside, so let me literally run out and throw him outside. No, right. 2 seconds. Where is it? Here. He's a husky. He's like a cat. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, let me get back to this. We've talked about 99s. You know how that'd be a pretty interesting app, Slayer Dart. I probably, yeah, as I mentioned, I'm nowhere near an ice cream van patrol area, so I don't think I'd get it, but yeah, sounds like a cool idea. At least be a bit of fun to do. I keep hearing stuff behind me, but what am I doing now? Displaying the IP address. So in order to display the set alarm, oh, excuse me, handle set alarm, handle root, I need to return back the string at the moment for ATM for my maps application. Yeah. That's an interesting concept as well. Do you think people would be more willing to work for people who contribute to open source? Is it? And then there's also like the thing of like how much they contribute to open source. Like, say for example, my company, which I'm not allowed say its name, even though if you want to go to my LinkedIn you'll find it there because I'm allowed to put it there. That I'm sure does contribute to open source and in some areas, but like generally no, you know, they don't. Like it's so big that there's areas that definitely do at some stage, but you know, it's not like, it's not the main thing. Like the average person is not like, oh, I found this bug in a library, let me push it back up. They'd have to go through like a couple of different hoops or whatever to get that done. They could be, yeah. I don't even know exactly what the process is because I haven't as part of the company. Like it would be rare. I know people that have, like, as in you just have to go to like there's just a couple of hurdles you'd have to go through to be able to do that. Like as in if you were using a library and you saw that there was a bug in it, you couldn't just quickly do a PR for it in work. That wouldn't be allowed. Like any code that you write in work, you need to get approved for it to go anywhere else. So like that would be a company that does contribute to open source, but it's not in the spirit that I think that you'd be looking for. Do you know, that kind of a way? I'm just scrolling around here aimlessly. I need to add another endpoint to the thing here. Server dot on get alarm handle that's interesting. Yeah, that's a good idea of how to do it. Yeah, when I took time off work and I was working on my kind of on side project-y stuff, that was 2 years ago now, I thought it was really interesting, like some of the, like I was using stuff from like I was doing React JS development at one stage, and so that's Facebook. I was using a tool or a something, a library called Helmet that was written by the NFL. I was using like Airbnb linting rules. You know, it's crazy the different people's stuff that you're using. Like nowadays, like when you're doing cloud development, Netflix is a huge player in the game. Like, yeah, the 10% thing would be really nice. I think yeah, personal development. I think that is a super good idea. Like, and 10% is nothing. It's half a day. Like, you know, 20%. That's great. Yeah, the kind of area that I work in now, I can sort of introduce sort of more learning stuff or whatever, but it's a little bit fuzzy. Like, so I could like work on some of this stuff too, but then it becomes a gray area of whether I could make content about it or not. So I think a lot of companies do that. Like, say Google, I think, has the 20% thing as well, right? But you're that busy that you're not going to be able to do it. Hey, Tails bot, that's actually quite funny. Tails bot with a picture of Tails flying around there. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Especially as I'm talking crap at the moment and not doing what I'm here to do. Where is it? Handle route. Okay, let's do this. Oh man, I could have done with a sleeper pod today, that's for sure. 20% sleep. It would have been more than 20% today. I went to bed late. I was working on that video, and I just went to bed way too late, and I'm just so tired today. So handle get alarm. So up here, handle get alarm. So return a text page, and then instead of web page, I'm just gonna return. How is the alarm kept? I presume it's not kept as a string. It's kept as alarm hour, alarm minute. Okay, so string alarm string equals alarm hour plus alarm minute. Devstream.tv. Oh, this is interesting. Hey, look, this was almost my stream with the Trello stuff. Yeah, that's interesting. We just started. We need help to index developer streaming. If a developer stream is not here, submit a pull request. Huh. Do I count as a developer streaming? I guess I kind of do, right? It's not typical development, right? But so I submit a pull request to that. Okay, cool. I'll take a look at that. It might be a interesting source of additional traffic. Thank you. I'd say crypto is in cryptocurrency. Yeah, he's looking at crypto compare. I wonder what he's doing. Embedded firmware development. That's something, right? This is what they call Not or I was like, oh, I'm gonna bring this guy like a few viewers. He doesn't need me. He definitely does not need me. Well, look, you can send him some cryptocurrency if you want. Interesting. Twitchception. What did they call that when one streamer goes to another raid? Is it like you see Shroud do it sometimes to people? Yeah, his is slightly more impressive when like 10,000 people start flooding into people's channels. Okay, so I think that should return back. Handle get alarm. I think that should return back the alarm when we go to get alarm. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to upload that. It's not part of the web interface at the moment, but just to confirm that it works, and it doesn't at the moment because it's after or before it's defined. So let's try that there. This whole code needs to be cleaned up so much. I'll also accept pull requests for that if anybody wants to do it. If I could just offset all my work to other people, that would be great. Just get my wife writing my blog posts, you guys to write my code. If somebody wants to come here and like solder up some stuff for me, that'd be great too. And I'm also looking for a PCB designer, so yeah, delegation is the name of the game. Okay, so that is uploaded now, so it's booting. It's 43, so let's go to 192.168.1.43. For which part? It's not Leo. Just like my own manager. Yeah. And well, depending on what you think of a do tank. That's a great idea. A do tank. You just all do what I say. That could make an interesting T-shirt or something. It's not a think tank. It's a do tank. Pitch it to Ivan Miranda. He's the man with the tank at the moment. Oh my god, that thing's cool looking. Did I do get alarm? That's interesting. Is it? It is get alarm, right? Get. Oh, that's capital. No, that's the same. Why is it not working? Oh, because I'm an idiot. That's it's not working. Again, I blame you. You were all here. I think I can just send back this, right? I don't need to put in the HTML part. Can I double check that? Examples. Wi-Fi web server. Is that there? Is it this one? Yeah. Hello server. The Beach Writer is super cool. Like that was a two-parter, but he didn't call it a Beach Writer in the first one, as far as I know or remember. But like that thing got ridiculous traction, and deservedly. But like, as in, like I saw all sorts of people retweeting that, or you know, like not even retweeting it, but like posting it again from them. You know, it was pretty impressive in fairness. So it's text plain actually is what I need here. It's not alarm string, it's alarm string, not in quotes. I was wondering why it was just going back to the page. Yeah, that guy is going places. He has to be close to making that a full-time job at this stage. I think if you want to, like, what's his name? Ivan Miranda. If you want to get onto the featured page of YouTube at the moment, you just need to give out about Tana Mangu or whatever her name is. He actually hasn't grown as quick as I thought he would have by how much he's knocking it out of the park at the moment. But like, this guy's gonna be at like 100,000 probably by the end of the year. I actually have never seen Tom Stanton's channel. I see it here behind the chat. So yeah, I'll check that out. But yeah, he's great. he's so likable too. So yeah, can't be mad at that guy. But if you were taking like bets who's gonna pass 100K next, I think he could be it. Another thing I find interesting, I'd love to know what the story is with this. Electromaker has Bitloony videos on it, and I don't understand. I don't understand what's the story. Like, I'm sure they're paying him or something, but it just, they don't seem to be doing enough to push their own videos or something. Like, man, if I had Bitloony making videos for me, I'd be like pushing the crap out of it. Like, I don't know. But yeah, there's a giveaway on this one that they're gonna give to a random subscriber, and there's currently only 780 of them, so you have a 1 in 780th chance of winning some swag or something. I don't even know, do they have a Twitter? No, they do. They have a Twitter. They have 5,000 followers. How are they not converting? Like, I'm scrolling through their thing here. I don't see anything about Bitloonies. Oh, here it is. It's got 3 retweets. Yeah, I don't understand. So, but man, Bitloony, he makes a good video. Yeah, like, man, he must not sleep or something. I don't know. Like, I can't keep up with that at all. He could just be much better at making videos than me too. So that could be interesting. Just subscribe to Tom Stanton. I will afterwards, I promise. Maybe. Where was I? Oh, yes, get alarm. Fifek in seconds. That's interesting. What did I do here? Fifek in seconds. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Alarm. Check the alarm. Oh, hold on. We have an alarm substring. Handle set alarm. Yeah, alarm hour. Alarm minute. Something must be wrong here. So send text plain is equal to alarm hour plus that stuff. Sion's are tired. Oh man, I like, what Sion's doing at the moment definitely isn't easy, because I don't know if you've ever worked for yourself for some amount of time. You feel under ridiculous pressure to do stuff, because like he has opportunity cost as well of, you know, he could be working somewhere and making money or whatever. Like if I quit work tomorrow to work on this stuff, the opportunity cost, and I think Mike is kind of in the same position as well. The opportunity cost is you could be off working for somebody, so you need to try and make like as most or the most out of the time you have, and you feel under a huge amount of pressure. Like, as in, I think Sean Hodgins had a tweet about like when you're working for yourself, like the boss isn't afraid to be a slave driver or something to that effect. Anyways, that basically, you know, you're your own worst enemy when you're your own boss. So like, it is tough. Sion's channel is probably growing as fast as mine, and like I'm a bit larger than him, so physically. Yeah, working for yourself is 24/7. I didn't realize you were still there, Sion, so sorry that if I was speaking about you out of turn, but yes, I'm physically larger. Maybe, I actually have no idea. Rounder anyways. Yeah, like Sion is about to no, don't worry about it. So no, I was just saying about how like working for yourself has a huge amount of pressure, and then like because of the opportunity cost of you could be working for someone and getting paid. So yeah, there's a huge amount of pressure that comes with it. Yeah, so like you almost have 1,000, Sion, and it's July, so, and you started in January, so you're almost gaining 200 subs a month, which is all I'm gaining. So yeah, you have a crazy growth. So yeah, so I think I've mentioned it lots of times. Remember me when you're when you pass me out. I'll be like, Mr. Sion, sir, remember me. Take me with you. Yeah. Why isn't this working? Alarm hour. Maybe I need to string this or something, do I? I don't think so, but sure. Let's do it anyways. Let's try that out. Alarm string, plain text. Yeah, like I know we've talked about it a few times, but it was 12 months before I reached 1,000, so by the skin of my teeth as well. So I definitely wouldn't discount the achievement of it. Done uploading. Okay, cool. I honestly don't agree with that. I think you could easily pass me out. Realistically, I don't think it'll be this year, but I think next year you could easily, because your trajectory is, to me, is more like someone like the only name I can, Learn Electronics. We started around the same time, and his trajectory was just that little bit higher, and it made a huge difference in the end. Like, if you look at him, he's 18,000 now or something like that. So good job, Paul. So yeah, you could easily pass me out. You could even pass me out this year. Just need to have one breakaway hit. That may be true. That might slow you down. Okay. Dave Darko mentioned earlier about Sarah Petkas's channel. You should check it out. It's not overly graphic, but like her latest video is talking about sort of some points of anatomy, I want to say. So maybe it mightn't be suitable for watching with kids on or something like that, but yeah, you should check it out. It's good and like refreshing kind of I don't know, like she's talking about sort of a taboo-ish type subject, but like it seems very natural. Like it doesn't seem like she's doing it just for shock factor or anything like that. It seemed, you know, or attention or anything. It just seems natural. So like yeah, a lot of respect for that. Interesting project to yeah, it's very honest or something. Her, without giving away what the last thing is her last device kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy though, like as something happens it causes a chain reaction which causes things to spin to make more things happen. So yeah, no, she seems cool. Just to it's the channel again, or at least I think it is. Okay, so here is the time that comes back. There's a feedback loop in it. Yeah, I think she's talking at something in America this week as well, some Hackaday thing. So fair play to her. I think I might finish up here because I'm tired and I need to do Ajax stuff, which I don't think I already have started in here. It's not the end of the world to do. I do have an Ajax call. Okay, no, let's do it. Function get alarm. Make Ajax call. Does it No, I'm gonna leave it here because this get Ajax call doesn't return anything, so I'd have to go through a bit bits and pieces, and I don't have it in me. Dublin Maker on the 21st. There's a Dublin Maker on the 21st, like Maker Fair. Oh, interesting. Submit your projects. Giant Robot Duck 1. I wasn't, but I might. 10,000 attendees. They're still taking projects now? Huh. I think I was talking to the guy Dragon Wife and Kids. The crowd that you recommended to me for the laser cutting, I think I was talking to him about this, and he was saying that like it's a really fun day for people going to it, but the people presenting at it, that it's like so tiring because you know you're showing enthusiasm, or at least you should be, to like a huge amount of people, and it's just so draining, like which I could see. Like, you know, there is this thing for submitting projects here. I don't even know. Are you going as a viewer or a presenter? Because you have stuff that you could submit to this, right? Oh, the open calls are closed. Grand. I don't need to feel bad about it. So, I might go to it actually. My daughter's a bit young. Yeah, my daughter's a bit young. She's like nearly 2. Like I'm sure there's some stuff for her to do or whatever, but in general, you know what? She might actually like it. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe next year go as a thing. Yeah. So okay, cool. Let's finish up there, guys, because I'm waffling. I did so little code or anything today. I think we just talked for most of it. So if that's not what you're into, I'm sorry. We'll get to the coding and stuff some other time. If you're watching this back on YouTube, oh man, I think you've had a bad time if you're here, what, an hour and a half in. That's okay. I actually enjoy the talking about stuff. I know I've mentioned before, but like my first 2 or 3 live streams, I streamed to pretty much nobody. I think Drew, if he's still here, I think he might have been like the only person at a couple of them and stuff like that. And man, it is not fun. Like you're just I don't know, trying to come up with things to say, and you feel like you're talking to yourself, but it's just it's not a good time. Okay, cool. So let's finish up there. Raspberry Pi video, it's on Pi-hole. I'm gonna release that tomorrow, I hope. Wednesday at the latest anyways. I'm working from home tomorrow, so I'll have time to do some stuff. Yeah, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks a lot for joining, guys. Appreciate it. Bye bye. Now I just need to find the stop button. Okay, cool.